Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, a lot of concern regarding the Egyptian students in Ukraine and their arrival. And in order to know more about the efforts of the Egyptian government, particularly the Ministry of Immigration, we are very much honored to have with us over the phone His Excellency Ambassador Abbas, Assistant Minister of Immigration for Communities Affairs. Your Excellency, always a pleasure having you with us here on Now TV International.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador Abbas, what are the most important steps taken by the Ministry of Immigration to make sure for a safe return of the Egyptian students stranded in Ukraine, and Egyptians, of course, stranded in Ukraine, being them students or not?
At the outset, let me give you an overview about the whole situation so that you be having a bird's-eye view of it. Now, we have 6,098 students, citizens in Ukraine,
yes.
Out of which 65% are students.
Yes.
And they're distributed between the East and the West. From the beginning of the military operations, the Minister of Immigration was very keen to establish direct contact with them by Zoom, and we do that every day. And we have had 4 meetings so far, and it had a very positive impact on them. We call them every day to follow up on the situation and their whereabouts.
Yes.
Those who are on the west side are able to mobilize and cross the borders to Poland and Romania.
Yes.
And we are following up on their mobilization, and we are preparing lists of their whereabouts so that we be able to locate them easily.
Yes, yes.
As you know, this is a very unusual situation. They're only students.
Definitely.
And it's very unusual for them.
Yes.
So we
65%, as you mentioned, Your Excellency. 65%
yes,
is a huge number.
65% of the, out of the 6,098 Egyptians that are in Ukraine. Yes,
yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Ambassador Abbas, as you mentioned, the huge and great efforts by the Ministry of Immigration and Minister Nabila Makram, of course, but what are the next steps?
Well, it's very important now at this point to organize the groups of the Egyptians that are crossing the border from Ukraine to the neighboring countries. It's very important so that we could locate them in case of any other necessary step taken by the government.
Yes. And what is required of those who are there from the Egyptians now?
Well, we are organizing, we have organized a concerted action with the embassy in Kiev and the embassy in Bucharest and the embassy in Warsaw.
Yes.
The 3 embassies have pointed out their emergency numbers. They put out their emergency numbers on their websites so that the Egyptians who are crossing the border would be able to forward their pertinent details and their whereabouts once they have crossed the border to be able to be lifted from there.
Yes.
Because our embassies in the neighboring countries are doing a big effort with the host governments in Poland and in Romania to issue the necessary visas for the
coming students.
The coming students, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, these are huge efforts, and I want to praise actually the coordination between the Egyptian government, represented by the Ministry of Immigration and Her Excellency Minister Nabila Makram, in coordinating with those countries you mentioned, Mr. Ambassador, Poland, Romania, but I have seen also efforts on the popular level. Apart from the governmental or the official level, there have been efforts by the Egyptians, the Egyptian expats in those countries, to host the students. And
of course,
I have seen posts, they are posting their address, their numbers. I have a house, I can host 10 or 9 persons if you like, I can help you in whatever. And that's, again, that shows the identity of the Egyptians abroad.
We are counting, we are always counting on their readiness to help.
Yes.
And they are always available, and we are always coordinating with the representatives of the communities. They are we call them every day, and we always complete the lists for those who are crossing the borders, because it's very important.
Of course, especially in such unusual circumstances, in such cold weather, and all the uncertainties surrounding the events.
Exactly, and those on the eastern side, they're always advised to stay put and not to mobilize. And even those who are crossing the border, they are always asked to coordinate with the embassy in Kiev before crossing any border.
Definitely, definitely, for their own safety. I'd like to thank you very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Abbas, Assistant Minister of Immigration for Communities Affairs. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, short break and we'll be right back.